Hey, 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 what's up, y'all? Let me get my things ready. I'm super excited. We're going to be going live here. And let me make sure that I am everywhere that I need to be. Uh huh. It looks like I am. Perfect, 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 perfect. Okay, cool beans. We're going to get right into it. I'm super excited. I'm so glad that you're here. Hello, hello again. I'm just going to hop right in, right? Because I want to make sure that you guys know exactly. Wait, let me make sure that. Okay. Okay, it's fine. I want to make sure that my audio was good. Okay, it's fine. Okay, cool. We are in here. Cool beans. So, yeah, well, here's the thing God has already given you the business. You just haven't birthed it yet. I'm here, we're talking about biblical business ideas. And ultimately, you have the business. You just haven't birthed it yet. Some of you keep waiting for a sign like a door or a confirmation. And that's okay sometimes. But ultimately, the provision is sitting inside of you. And so, what you're waiting for, I don't know. Only you would really know. You are pregnant with potential. And while you work, while you do your ministry, while you scroll, could be scrolling or praying, but you're wondering if it is worth it, if it's holy to build. And I want to answer that today. It is holy. But here's how. The Proverbs 31 woman was not a homemaker who just stayed small. You got to go back and read the text. She bought a field, that's land. She bought a field. She planted a vineyard. She made linen and sold it. She considered a field and bought it. She was a woman who moved on opportunity, not fear. Those who move on fear, you will see that you don't actually move because you'll feel stuck. But when opportunity arises, and that's what the Lord has shown me recently over these last couple of weeks, is that opportunity arises. Will you be prepared for it? That Proverbs 31 woman also cared for her household, but it quietly skips the parts where she made money because she was a businesswoman. She was a builder. And that is also your lineage. And so you can't think of yourself as someone who can't fulfill the promise. What does an actual biblical business actually look like? Not like a sermon or a teaching, or not just like talking about a hustle in a setting where you have some women around, but a real biblical business. Here's some structures to consider. Here's one: the teaching business. Because think about it. You have a doctorate, you have a skill, you have a degree, multiple degrees. Most women I know now, we actually have multiple degrees. I mean, we are educated women. You have a skill set, multiple skill sets. I'm talking, you know how to trade, you know how to be an affiliate for a business, you know how to write, writing books. Some of you even just have a testimony of a lived experience that many don't experience this type of thing. That testimony can uh, cultivate something within you because you're talking about inner work that some people pay thousands of dollars to do with an expert. You have what it takes. You just need to package it. That's what I would think. All you would need to do is package that because a woman doesn't need permission to teach what God has already put in her hands. All right. Here's another one. Number two, the service of stewardship. So think about it. You already know how to budget, um, manage money. You already know how to steward something well enough to teach others how to do the same. Because believe it or not, God has called us to budget our time, budget our money, budget everything that, budget different parts of our life, like even our kids. We ought to steward everything that the Lord has given us well. Absolutely. Like never stop. And so, what I have come to realize is the things that we are given by the Lord, many of us don't actually take the time. We're so giddy and excited about it because maybe on the outside, it looks like it's a big deal. And so we kind of like get within ourselves. You know what I mean? But really, what what the Lord really wants us to do is identify where our gifts come from, which is Him, because He wants to receive the glory from it. You know, He has created us for His glory. He created us for His glory. So everything that we do, when we acknowledge Him, it really just serves purpose. I've heard many people say, "No, know yet what my purpose is." Well, purpose comes in many shape, forms, and fashion. Um, we were created for His purpose. And so when we live our life for His glory, that's something to consider. If we live our life for ourselves, you have to really look at the fruit of what that looks like. When our life is not um, giving Him glory, when it's there is nothing from it that serves a purpose, um, we are not getting served, and He is not getting served. And it's just really something to consider and think about because the life of stewardship comes from one where we are living our life for the purpose of God. God does things through us, He serves purpose so that when we do serve others, he also gets the glory from that. I know I veered off a bit, but I want you to think about the service of stewardship because people are drowning in financial shame. Ultimately, I have before drowned financial shame, just super embarrassed. But you're the one who needs to lead them out. Okay. So think about what it is you have been a good steward over, how you can help teach others how to do the same. If I was to have a different example, I would think about personal development because I do talk about leadership, money mindset, things like that. And I come from a place of, guess what? I've already practiced these things, and this is why I'm sharing. Because I don't want to just be someone who is talking theory. Never will I ever talk theory about something. I don't even know how to do that, honestly. I don't even know how to make it up like that. I can't even, that's not true to who I am. And so making it up is not a thing. Ultimately, what will come from being authentic and being raw and honest about your journey and then sharing about it. That's the only reason why I can share all the things that I've been sharing because I was that person 5 years ago. 2020 is when I decided, guess what? I'm going to shift how I live my life, how I think about things. I just need to know what to do. And when I did that, I kind of started with a book. And I can share the book that I am into right now, or for the last month. I was at the Mantle Conference. And so, as VIPers, we got the book Shift Your Life by Joshua Giles. It's a really straight to the point book. It's great content in here. I'm going to get more into that in a little bit. But um, let me get back to, I want to get back to the biblical business idea that no one has shared. And so I want to get back to that because I want you to know that the gift is already inside of you. So I said, so I had already said the teaching business, that was number one. And then number two was the service of stewardship. Now, number three is the product of provision. So think about what you can make. All right. You have guides, workbook, courses. What is something that you can put your hands to that you know that you can develop? Um, for me, it was social media, it was consulting. I created courses, I created classes, I created guides, I created an app. Most recently, in the last year, I have created, I think, 4 or 5 apps. And these are things that can help people go from one um, point A to point B. All right. And so if you don't have the Money Mindset app, go ahead and go to lamishanicole.com and you can see, download the app there. And you can see how you were doing yourself with, so you just create the account. You can go in there and there's some affirmations in there. There's also some opportunities for you to plug and play and really just see, okay, how do I think about money? Because money mindset is shifting the way that you think about it so that you can receive more. Um, and in this way, specifically money, and it's not, mindset is not always about money, but I talk to you who are people who struggle to see how you can be financially compliant even with a servant heart. And so most of you can be in leadership in different positions, maybe in education, maybe you're um, a clergy member, maybe you're a woman in ministry, maybe you are in government, but either way, you have a heart to serve. You're highly intelligent and you have all of the degrees and education certifications. You have what it takes from the world's perspective. However, there's something missing. There's a missing point. Either you're not pursuing fully your passion, or if you are, you're not able to live life being in the world, not of the world. You're not making enough money. You you know what to do. You have what it takes, but you're not able to receive. And so a lot of that can come from the way that you think about it. And many of you can hold yourself back just because you have a poor money mindset about that. And so, number three was the product of provision. Can you make a guide, a workbook, one thing that you deeply, that you know that you can turn into something? So you have this idea and you're like, hey, I know that I can turn this into, a guide, even a small ebook, something that they can hold and buy. I have worked with a few clients actually, and because they have had that testimony, that experience of grief, they were able to share. They wrote a book, they wrote a guide, they created a puzzle about how to get through grief. And so, how can you turn something that you know into a product that people can buy? Number four is the group container. So, even if you haven't created something, think about it another way. If you can share information with a lot of people, sharing information with um, a community. Some of you are really good at, creating community. Some of you just really have it. You have what it takes. People connect with you well. You get along with people. It's not like, everybody's alpha female. It's like opposites attract. So you're able to get along with people who will also pay to be led together. So think about that, because you have this circle, you have this community that you've cultivated. And what if they are able to pay a small fee to be led together? Because being a part of a community is one thing. Many of us are part of all types of communities. I mean, when you go to church, you're part of a community. When there are different school groups, when you were in school, where, I mean, those are community based also, right? You're just giving the gathering a kingdom mission. So if you think about it that way, just know that you're serving purpose. And so giving the gathering a kingdom mission and a price is something that you can birth in 90 days. It doesn't take a year. I mean, all of these things that I've mentioned, it doesn't take longer than 90 days when you're truly focused. I would say that you will need to be truly focused to make sure that you're not veering off, getting distracted. It's hard to birth anything. It's hard to be consistent with anything when you're not focused. But I know what you're thinking. Is this really what God wants from me? Because some of you are just abhorred by the thought of people paying you, which can solidly, as the one who is teaching you how to embrace receiving money, yes, it makes me nauseous knowing that you don't even want to receive, although this is what you will need to pay your bills or to pay for something, to even just go get coffee with a friend. You need money. The mindset shift is not that you are accepting the offer of going to get coffee with someone like, oh, I think that they will pay. Shift your mindset to, I want to go and get coffee with a friend because I want to pay for both of us. I want to give back in that way. It's $7 or less. So if you have, so with this mindset over here, you're thinking, I got $15, I got $20, and you're inviting a friend to go and get coffee, you're handling the check. So the mindset shift is, oh, I want to go get coffee, but I'm going to see if she can pay. To, I've got $20. Let me invite a friend to go get coffee. Let's go do it. Because money in your hands is not the enemy. Put it in the budget. Check it off. You are fulfilling kingdom mission because maybe the person that you're going with is really going through and they really need the heart of the Father that's in you and want to pour. And that can be your opportunity to pour out into their life and really see how Holy Spirit works in that. You can't fund your kingdom mission on empty. Money is the ministry's oxygen when the money is needed. I want you to shift your mindset about that. Wanting money doesn't make you selfish. It makes you equipped. You have what you need. So we can't just be like, oh, well, we don't need the money. The question is not whether you should have it. The question is what you'll do with it once you do. And that goes straight along with stewardship. What will you do with it once you do get the money? What are you going to do with it? And you can't wait until. So that's poor money mindset. Waiting until, well, once I get such and such XYZ, then, or you might be thinking, well, I need a better paying job. I need a higher paying, or once I get, so get out of that mindset. Come over here. And I want you to shift to, wow, I know I need it. I know I need this, but um, the Lord's just going to make a way. The Lord's going to make it happen. But you don't veer off of what it is that you need, but you're not worrying about it. All right. So here's the system. Write this down. Month 1, build. Pick one idea. One idea you have, write the offer. Don't scroll for the perfect business idea. Just build the one that's literally inside of you. The Lord has given it to you. If you need help with even understanding what that is, let me know, DM me, because I can tell you a few things that you can do to really cultivate and get that up and out of you. One thing you're probably going to need to do is consecrate. Another thing you can consider is understanding where you are mentally and emotionally. Another thing that can really help with clarity is your diet. What are you eating? That's the whole thing. We'll get into that another time. Month 2, ask. So, not just asking God, you are asking other people. by telling them what you do. Hey, I got such and such over here. And so you're giving people an invitation. If you have a wellness company and you have products, maybe you're setting up opportunities for people to come and come and test the products or just hear about, you got like not like a party, but a session of some sort. And so you're telling people what you do, and then you're going to confidently ask for the sale, right? Because asking is not begging, it's an invitation. And honestly, you have to do that multiple times after multiple times after, like, you have to repeat that. It's not a one and done. You probably heard, yeah, everything's a numbers game when it comes to sales. Where's the lie here? There is not. There is no lie. You literally have to talk to massive amounts of people when you're doing it that way. If you were doing, an online process, you'd probably be doing ads or content. And so the numbers is what makes the difference. You have to have more people know what you do. Nobody knows. Nobody's going to know. But honestly, you want to serve the first few people deeply. So if you're in the very beginning stages, you want to make sure that those first few clients that you get, you want to serve them like deeply. And then you want to get their testimonials, right? And then do it again. So you are rebuilding, renewing, and reviewing your process. It's not hustle, it's stewardship with a calendar. And I can tell you firsthand that because in my past, I've always wanted things fast. I was always a do gooder that did everything fast. And so I was thinking, if I do it fast, then I need to get the money faster. And that's not how it always works. Ultimately, when you are building, you are setting a pace. You're just instead of just going zoo do 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 do, you're going, okay. This is what you're doing. You're building a pace. And after you've done that for some time, then it's called scaling. You will scale up into the next or into better. And you will have a better process. You have a better review process. You have a better output process. And I'm telling you what, you will see the difference between hustling and building. And so, stewardship has a calendar, and you are building at a pace. You've been pregnant with your business long enough, friend. And so, ultimately, it's time to deliver. I am the business midwife. And so, if you know that God is calling you to more, but you need the structure, the strategy, and someone to walk with you through the birth, that's what I'm here for. And I want you to comment gold carrier. And I also want you to subscribe because this is the work that we do here inside of the Business Midwife. And I want you to see how going from like poor money mindset to profit to prosperity in the financial sense, it really is not a sprint because we're talking transformation. Transformation takes time. But I want you to really hone in on what compounding is. Now, that is another video, but compounding will get you where nothing else can. And compounding is a universal concept here because you can compound bad things. And believe it or not, you're always compounding. So that's why you're going to want to be intentional about compounding the best things, the best habits. You want to compound the greatest things because you're wanting to get the best results. So I do want to pause there because I want to share a little bit about the book that I am reading. Because I was telling you back in 2020, it started with the book because I decided in my mind, I said, I can no longer live this way. And I got the book by Jim Quick, and literally that helped shift. And then I got into that helped shift my mindset. Then I got into therapy, and it's just been up ever since. So right now I'm reading this book called Shift Your Life by Joshua Giles. And in this book, I got this book about a month ago. I literally read the first 6 chapters in 3 to 4 days. It was amazing. I was like, I was gone. And so I took a pause. I ended up doing a bit of a transition in my personal life. And so I took a few weeks off and now I'm back into it. And guess what? I'm on chapter 9. And this book is literally helping people let go of survival mode. And I know that I don't have the testimony of letting go of survival mode in one reading of a book. That's not my testimony. Um, Someone may have that, but what I do know is that sometimes you will come across seasons of when you might find yourself in survival mode and not of your own doing, right? Not a, um, it's not always because of a bad decision that you made, because that's not how life is. A lot of things can be your decision. And if you make a poor choice and you have a bad result, and you see that that was a poor choice that you made, then you would know that that came from you. But sometimes when life throws lemons and you have to make the best of it, you're going to make lemonade. And that's where we're at. So, in that, the moment or the season, if you find yourself in survival mode, um, just know that in this book, he shows how you can let go of it sooner. And it's not that if you are in it, that you must stay in it. Because when you have the mindset that it's only up from here, I'm telling you what, because your mind is forward thinking, it literally is only up from there. In the book, though, he shares a little bit about uh, his own experiences early on in his life, and he really gives language to what it can look like when you are in survival mode and how to seize the moment. And I thought it was very significant when I saw that transition while reading, because you ultimately want to share the good news. I'm not talking about the gospel. I'm saying the good news of the faithfulness of God. Because when you're in a what he calls a night season, and there's also a day season coming. There's a scripture in Psalm. Shoot, I want to say Psalm 30 something that reads about how weeping endures for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Everything in life has a cycle. When you're going through different cycles in life, you're going to find that what goes up must come down. And so, in that, even in survival mode, There's opportunities to seize the moment. You're going to find that if you're in a night seasons are only just that, for a season. But the Lord delivers us out of them all. But you have to know how to make the shift. And when the opportunity rises, what you're actually going to do. I'm trying to find, it might be in chapter 4. But one of the key scriptures that he puts in chapter 3 was Psalm 91. When you feel stuck or you feel like you missed the moment, I just remember Psalm 91. You who sit down in the high God's presence, spend the night in Shaddai's shadow. Say this: God, you're my refuge. I trust in you and I am safe. It's important to feel safe in the cycles of life. When you don't, when you are in fight or flight mode constantly, and I've heard someone actually say this before. They said, I live in fight or flight. I live in fight or flight. And I know what that is because I also live that life. But understand that you don't have to. You do not have to live in fight or flight mode. You will have pain, you will have suffering, but you have to know the difference between if it's warfare or if it's refining. Because when you are going through a trial, if you don't know if it's warfare or refining, you might get lost in the sauce. You might find yourself caught up into something and not understand the lesson from it. If it's warfare, you will know how to put on the armor of God, how to fight that, understanding that it's not a person, a place, or a thing. It's not a noun, right? But it is a spirit that you're dealing with. So, knowing how to deal with certain spirits, you're able to get through that faster. If it's not warfare and it's refining, then you will know by understanding the lesson that comes from it is developing you personally or your character. And so, knowing this, knowing, and it really takes discernment, it really takes some time in prayer because you could be walking through a difficult time where God is using that time to realign you or redirect you. But you've got to know this. You've got to know this. And so he kind of goes into what to do if it's warfare or what to do when it's refining and just knowing how to make the shift. It's amazing. I mean, I literally, in a few days from receiving it, I was like, I'm about to read this. I'm a bookie anyway. I am a leader. Listen, leaders are readers. Come on here, somebody. Leaders are readers. And so now that I am back into the swing of things, I recognize how I have definitely experienced the survival mode, seizing the moment, and building the future. And so I've been building my future, and even more so now, just building for what is to come in. It's almost like every 5 years, I see the pattern now. Before I hadn't recognized that it was, but I see and understand that, guess what? I'm in that 5th year and I'm actually preparing for my next 5. And in the next 2, I know what's going to, I know that there's going to be a major shift. I do know that in the next 2 years.
When you finish with that, can you unlock this and put two more AAA batteries in here? Because the batteries are low.
You can do it. You can do it. Also, I think get the other phone too. It should be on the charger.
Daddy.
Yeah.
Daddy.
Okay. Sorry. Um, I had even did a live not too long ago where I was talking about how your gifts make room, and so I'll see if I can post that video up here somewhere. Your gifts make room. He talks about that in here. After you have shifted your environment, he goes into how you can ultimately create the life that you want. And a lot of people fall victim to the world's way of doing things. But ultimately, I'm saying you don't have to fall victim to that. And what I loved is how he talked about having a healthy soul, because that's how I started my brand building. A few years ago, I would go into why it's important to be whole in every area of life. And so back then, I started with 1 or 2 areas and I would focus on it for a year. And then I would be successful in those areas. And then I'd move on the next year to another 2. And I would master each area of life. And so, yeah, ultimately, I mastered becoming mindful of how to become whole and healthy mentally, emotionally, spiritually, um, relationally, with my relationships, familially, with my family relationships, with my kids, my husband, my other family members, with um, and financially, and I mean, there's like 12 areas of life where you understand you really just need to hold on to it, focus on it, and do what it takes. That's ultimately what needs to happen. You need to do what it takes to master that area of life. Without mastering it, what are we really doing if you're not mastering it? You know what I mean? And so, there's also, so that's kind of where I'm at now in chapter 9. There's, so the shift is here. So I'll be back to share more because I'll probably be done with this by the end of the week because it doesn't take me long. I like, once I get into it, I'm into it. And so I will be back to share more and finish up the book and let you know how the end of it goes. And so, again, that's this book called Shift Your Life. It has been a joy, and currently, ultimately, building the life that you were created for. And I'm here for all of it. You know what I mean? All of it. So glad that you were able to join. Um, so many more testimonies can come from that, but I am going to sign off here. And I just hope that you have a great rest of your day. And remember that, excuse me, but I want you to remember the one thing that you came for here today, and that is the permission to receive, because ultimately, faith based business, most women think that the two can't touch, but I have shown you why the Bible disagrees and how to build wealth God's way. And so, a tight prophet is a dull weapon, but a rested one holds the room. I hope that you enjoyed our time today, and I will see you in the next live. Come back here tomorrow, and we'll see how everything goes from there. And we'll talk more on faith-based business and rest. I'm Lamisha Nicole, your business midwife, and I will see you next time. Ciao.
Hello.
Hold on, friend.